Well, today we are going to talk about RIF name service. We all know about RSK network. It's a smart contract network developed over the Bitcoin network. So this means that the fees you are paying inside this network to execute things and make the decentralized applications work are paid with Bitcoins. Then in other webinars, we also talked about the RIF services. So RIF realized that using blockchain is much more difficult than expected. So there are a lot of services that the people might need to run their applications. Most of these services are well known in the current internet. So what we are trying to do in RIF is to build services that are fully decentralized and permissionless, and this can be enabled using smart contracts in RSK. So today we are going to talk about a particular service of all the RIF name services, and that is live right now, and it has like 1 year and a half live in the RSK mainnet. So just to get started, I will talk a little bit about me. Well, I have been working like 2 years in IOB, 2.5 years. In the first more than a half year, I've been working on the RSK area. In RSK, we made some integrations of existing services for Ethereum. So that was mostly my job in my first time of the career in IOB. Then I moved to the RNS team. When we launched the RIF services, the RNS was the first service. So we started developing the RIF name service, mostly based on Ethereum name service. So you will find a lot of things that have in common and are very similar. Then after developing 1 year in RNS, I also took part on some kind of decisions in the roadmap and in the development. So now I can say that I'm the RNS PO. Then inside IOB, I mostly code Solidity, that is the smart contract language, and JavaScript. And then, well, I do a little bit of other things, just tiny things of other languages. Then about my personal life, I study computer science in the University of Buenos Aires. I love to play the guitar, drink coffee, and I also love gardening. So, well, apart from being a developer, I have a nice life. I love what I do. So what is this service that I'm talking about? What is RNS? RNS are the letters for RIF name service. So now we are going to call it RNS. But before understanding RNS, maybe we should understand a little bit of how the internet works nowadays. So what we do today is that people are very used to have, like, for example, Safari or Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, and they jump over there, they write a link, and automatically a web page pops up. So, for example, we are going to use Twitter as an example because it's a well-known name. So anybody who wants to read the tweets in their feed or communicate with another one in Twitter or even see the notifications, they would go directly to their webpage. They type twitter.com. Everybody remembers that twitter.com will take you to the webpage of Twitter, and then the computer starts doing a lot of magic behind it. So the first thing that the computer will do is try to find the location of that computer. So this number that we can find over here is the IP of the computer. Your your browser explorer will try to find the location of this computer, and then it will try to ask for the web page in this location. So the browser explorer will use a service that it's well known in the internet and it's very common to be used, and is the DNS service, the domain name system. So what the web browser does is it goes to a place where he knows that he goes to a computer that he knows that will tell the answer of twitter.com and will tell where is located this computer. So in the DNS side, there are a lot of databases where there are a lot of queries, and they try to find where this computer is and answer you as soon as possible. Once you get this IP, then you can get the part of the web page you want. So this process, like the behind of this process, is maybe it's not known by everybody, but this part, the first step, is known by everybody. So everybody knows that when he writes twitter.com in his Google Chrome, he will automatically see twitter.com webpage. That's what we try to do in cryptocurrencies too. One of the most big problems of cryptocurrencies now is that all the concepts that you have to understand and all the things that you see when you start interoperating with the currencies are very strange. Like, for example, you have an account name that is a couple of letters and numbers. Some letters are in uppercase, other in lowercase. Then you have to know the address of the other one when you are sending. And then there's a much more thing to learn. Like, for example, what amount do I have to send? What about the gas? What about the current price in US dollars? Or what about the security behind the service? How much do I have to wait? So there are a lot of concepts that the people must understand to try to start using, start using or try using the cryptocurrencies. So what we try to do in RNS is to solve one of these problems, and one of the problems is this long thing that is over here, that is the address of the person. So if you want to send money to the person, you should know the address right now. But with RNS, we are building something very similar to DNS, is that when you want to send money to a person, you will access this RNS service. You are going to provide a name for the person, and this service will answer you if the person has an address or not. And all the magic of finding the address is being performed by the service. So you just have to remember your domains, and you just have to give your domains to the person you want to send you money, just to achieve this. Like, it's just one of all the concepts that are very difficult in the blockchain, but it's one of the most important. So finding the person and the resources you want to use is like the thing that should be the simplest thing in the world, because people do not want to remember, do not want to write down. So that is one of the purpose why we build RNS. So as I was talking before, we have this big motivation that is reaching the less technical users, also all the unbanked users, and this vision of the whole IOB company to reach the unbanked and try to make the equality for everybody is one of our most biggest motivations in the team. And well, now we have this service that the idea is that what you do with this service is you have human readable names for your resources that allows you to success on reaching many more non-technical users. Then while building this project and this service, we have 4 big pillars, and well, we have some other pillars, but these ones are the biggest. So I talked about a lot. I talked about the ease of use. We talk about that this is our most important pillar in the service, and well, I'm going to add a little bit of another pillars. The other one is the interoperability. So what we try to build in the service tries to be portable with any other service and any other platform you're using. We are going to talk about the resolving also addresses of different currencies with your RNS domains later. So you will find that we try to achieve that you can use your domain for any network you want to and trade in any network you want. Then the security is one of the most important things, because between a service and a person, there's a like an implicit contract, that is that the person trusts in the service and the person trusts that the service will do what the person thinks it will do. The user accesses the service, pays for a service, and wants always the security for his keys, and also the security for the answer of this service. So one of the things we also pay a lot of attention and try to have in our minds in every step we give is the security to the users. And an extra thing that also allows us to reach the unbanked people is the rentability. So now acquiring a RIF named service domain is cost less than $1, and we try to keep the cost the lowest we can, so that we can reach anybody and anybody can access this type of technology that is awesome. So what is happening behind the scenes? Because we talked about DNS and a lot of databases, and the web browser will jump to the well, sorry, I will make a pause. I will see if there's any question in the chat. Give me a minute. Now I will continue with this slide. Okay, so I was talking about DNS, and I also said that DNS has a lot of things in behind. So Twitter, it's not magical that Twitter has the computer running in the it's not magic that Twitter, sorry, what's happening? Sorry.
Sorry, Dan. Nothing's happening. We're seeing your screen.
Yeah, sorry for the, yeah, I got distracted. So, well, I was talking about DNS, and it's not magic that Twitter just works and you write Twitter and it appears over there, and it's great because it's always working. So in RNS we have a nice architecture that is based on 4 layers. So I'm going to explain a little bit how these 4 layers work and how we develop the service and how it is built, so that you can understand also what much applies more for you. Like, for example, if you attended this meeting because you want to know more about smart contracts, then the next layer will get you most focused on the talk. So let's start with the specifications. As we have a service that has a lot of components and has a lot of things and has well, it's not just resolving addresses and you go to a database. So the whole service intends to be decentralized, and to be decentralized, we need some protocols and some guides for the users to follow to achieve what they want to. So once you have a domain, you are going to find this domain in this kind of tree. We have a tree structure that stores all the domains. So for example, if you want to find bob.rsk, you will find it over here in the tree. And then inside this tree that we call the registry, there you will find a lot of things. And all these things that are stored in this tree must need to follow some protocols to achieve getting at the end of the protocol the address of the person. So one of the most important and first things we have in RNS is the specifications. Like we have our foundational white paper, and we have some features that we've been adding. So everything is specified and tries to be the most simple and understandable as possible. Then once we build these specifications, we can jump to the implementations of these papers. So once we then we developed all these, as I said, all these specifications in the RSK smart contracts platform. Sorry, I will have a look at the chat. It's not about this specific meeting, but it is possible to build supply chain with RSK. Yeah, there are some implementations of supply chain. Then at the end of the meeting, I can send you some links.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we have these services with this service and all the protocols, and we know now how we want to access information, how it is stored, and we need a place to store this information. And we chose the RSK network because this ensures two important things, that is the security and integrity. You know that the user will update a record just if it's that user, so all the security is covered by the RSK network protocols. And then also the network ensures that this data that is updated is integer, like it ensures its integrity because the only one who can update the record is the person that really owns that record. So we have a structure that is also very similar to the DNS structure. We have three types of entities. We have, in the first place, well, the registry where I said we store all the things. Also, we have the registrars. The registrars are some smart contracts that are in charge of registering domains. So you will try to follow the protocol of registering to achieve a new domain. Once you get that domain, then you will have another contract in some other place that is called the resolver. And this resolver is the one that is going to provide the domain of the records. So then in a couple of slides, I'm going to show all the records we have available and what you can do with these resolvers. The important thing of the resolver is that it's customizable. You can choose how your domain behaves, and you can be 100% sure that this is the process that the process you set for your domain is the process that the service will follow. So it's fully customizable. But to make it easier to work for people, we have a default resolver. Like, it's easy to use and it's easy to operate with. So we have one that we provide for everybody. And then all this registrar stuff and resolver stuff and a lot of names and a lot of smart contracts everywhere need something to be easy for a developer to integrate. So we also build open source libraries. We have libraries in JavaScript, for Python, for Go, C#. We have a lot of hot stuff in our GitHub. And the most important thing of the libraries is that a developer can integrate with the RNS just writing 3 or 4 code lines, maybe 5, 6 code lines, and can integrate the service in their application. And this enables the usage of these smart contracts in an easy way. Like, there are a lot of operations you have to do to fulfill, for example, an address resolution. So if you want to find an address for a domain, you have to do a lot of steps. This library, you just tell the library, give me the address of the domain, and the library will do all these steps for you and solve all the problems for you. And then as an extra layer over this, we have the part that we call the decentralized application. So all the things I mentioned before are not usable by nobody that is not a developer. So to achieve something before this fourth layer, you must be a developer or you must know something about developing. So we also build a decentralized application. This application tries to give a user interface that is friendly, that is easy to use, and that also is fully decentralized. And the thing is that this application has no backend. It communicates directly with the network and with the smart contracts. So the users can ensure 100% that they are using the service, and the service is secure, and also is the real service they are using. So in a couple of minutes, we are going to try this decentralized application. I'm going to show how I register a domain and how I set up a little things of the domain. So we are going to get in depth in the decentralized application in a few minutes. So, given all the things, and I talked about what problems try to solve and how it is built. So now the question is, why would you choose RNS for your application? So mostly, if you want to solve the problem of the addresses, you would opt for any name service, but you have some extra things with RNS. We have some active features, and also we have some plans for the future. So in the first place, once you acquire a domain, this works like the DNS service. You can create any subdomain you want. Like, for example, google.com also owns calendar.google.com and also owns images.google.com. So all those subdomains were acquired freely by DNS, by Google in the DNS system. So we are building an architecture that is quite similar and also allows you to get free subdomains. Then another thing that you can do that enables interoperability with different blockchains is that you can use your domains for different addresses of different blockchains. Like, for example, you can use your domain and store in your domain a Bitcoin address. So anybody that is using the Bitcoin network, you can send him your domain. Then he would query in the RSK network what's the Bitcoin address for that domain and send you some Bitcoins. So this is how we think the different blockchains can interoperate and can take the better thing of each to build the better of the other ones. You can also use your domains for these distributed websites. Most of you might know about IPFS, Swarm. There are many other kind of distributed storage systems. And what you can do with your domain is that you can set it up and use it like a domain for browsing in your website. So the ones here that know about IPFS and Swarm might know what I'm talking about. You have a big hash of the file, and when you want to search for a file, you need to know that hash. So what you can do in your domain is to put that hash behind the domain and search the file by the domain. We also support reverse resolutions. So sometimes, like the most common use case is that you give the domain to a person and that person sends you the money. So maybe someone sent you the money, but you do not have their domain. We have enabled this reverse resolution that allows you to find the other way around. So when you have an address, you can find the domain of the person, and this is optional. So it also ensures security and integrity. And well, there are some use cases that are very interesting about reverse resolutions. And then, well, I already talked about this, and all the resources that are mapped by a domain can be customizable. You can upgrade your resolver, you can change it, you can use the one that most fits for your application. You can also give your users your resolver that fits for your application. There are many customizable things inside the protocol. Also, you can customize a lot of things about ownership and registrations. Like you can sell subdomains. You can, for example, have a multi-sig that owns a domain. You can do a lot of things. Then for this year, we have some big plans. The first big plan is adding some new standard records. Now, as I said before, we can find with a domain the website or an address of another blockchain. So what we are trying to build right now is a lot more of this type of resources mapped to a domain, like for example, a public key or some text records, arbitrary records. Then another thing that we are working on in this year is the dynamic resolution with ENS. The idea of this is that ENS is a well-known service, and we support very much the ENS team. So what we want to build is a library that allows you to find the domain in different services. So the first one is the ENS, but maybe in the future it will be interoperable with others. So this library, what we'll do is to try to find the domain in the RSK service, and if it's not there, then it will try to find it in other services, like for example ENS. And then another thing we are working on is on the DNS claims. The idea of this is that when you acquire a domain in DNS, the whole ownership of that domain is given by the one who let you that domain. Like for example, when you buy a domain in GoDaddy, you have to always log in GoDaddy to manage your domain. So what we are trying to build is a bridge between these domains and the RNS domains. And you will be able to move your domain from outside the blockchain to inside the blockchain, and you will have the full ownership of the domain inside the RNS. And this will enable that in the future, all the web pages that you're browsing, instead of going to find it to a centralized service as is DNS, it will go to find it to a decentralized service. So we will be able to set up your web pages to query all the things in the RSK blockchain. Okay, so I talked a lot. I mentioned a lot of things. Now it's time for the hands-on. We are going to register domains in the testnet. I'm going to explain each step you will require to register a domain. And well, any questions you have, you can send me chat. Anyway, if you cannot register today and you have some issues, I will leave you my email at the end of the talk, so you can send me an email and I can help you out. And well, the meeting will be recorded, so anything you want to rewind and see again will be available. So I mostly finished the slides. Now we are going to start with the testnet, with the testing of the service in the RSK testnet. So we are going to do a couple of steps to set up our wallets and set up for registering the domain. We are going to do all this in a network that is for testing. So everything that you get inside here has no real value, has no economic value. So this test network is like let's say an exact replica of the network that actually has value and has economic value. So the assets you will acquire here will be free. You will get them free, and they will also be free forever. And well, the process is quite similar in the real network, so that's why we try to build the process in a free workspace. So in the first place, we are going to install the Nifty wallet. The Nifty, what a wallet is a program that will store the cryptocurrencies, and it will sign the transactions of the cryptocurrencies you send. And in the case of RNS, your wallet will own your domain. So this wallet will be the only wallet that can and will be able to operate with your domain. So the first thing we are going to do is to install the Nifty wallet. I'm going to share the link. I'm sharing all the links that you will find in the presentation. So once you start setting up your wallet, you will browse to this link. In your Google Chrome, you will be able to install a plugin that takes less than a minute to be installed. Then you can delete it, or you can still use it. You will get something like this, that it's a wallet. Once you have this wallet, you will be asked to complete 12 words, write them down. If this time we are going to use the wallet just for the test network. So these 12 words can be written down anywhere. When you are using the actual network, the main network, ensure that these 12 words are secure and that you will never lose them, because these 12 words represent all your assets. Like if you lose these 12 words, you lose your assets. And also if someone hacks these 12 words, will also hack your assets. So this is a very important thing for security. The wallet will store it for you. You don't have to type them anytime you want to send money. But then you need a backup, so back it up somewhere. Once you are inside the wallet and you installed it and you also copied the 12 words, we are going to connect to the RSK testnet. Over here we have a selector. This selector will be in POA network, POA network. There are a lot of networks. We are going to use this one, RSK testnet. In the case of the ones that already have MetaMask, in this guide that I sent you, you will find the things that you have to do. Well, you will first open the MetaMask and add the customer PC. You will find the values that you have to fill in this column. So there are 5 values you have to fill up. And you will be able to connect to the RSK network directly. I will wait like 1 minute or 2 so that you can complete your 12 words and everything. Then I will explain the next 2 steps. So in the RSK network, you need some Bitcoins to pay for the transaction fees. These Bitcoins, in this case, they are free Bitcoins, of course. These Bitcoins will allow you to execute different things. As difference of Bitcoin, you use cryptocurrency as the asset to be sent. In the Bitcoin network, you want actually to send Bitcoins to other people. And in the RSK network, we use these Bitcoins to pay for sending other assets. So now you're going to understand the whole process, but what we are going to use to pay for the RIF service is the RIF tokens. So these tokens are imagine that you're in a game center. You want to play a game, so you go there and put 2 or 3 coins, and it lets you play the game. If you win, it gives you 100 coins. Well, in this case, these are like these coins. You are going to have some coins, and then you are going to insert these coins in the RIF service, and the RIF service will enable you to use a domain. So to put these coins in the service, you will have to pay some transaction fees. That's why we are getting some RIF RSK BTCs. So I hope everybody succeeded in the first part. I'm going to jump to the other one. So if you already installed the wallet, you should see something like this. Well, with nothing of this inside, right? Well, these are transactions and things I already done. You will find something like this that has 0 RBTC and has an address over here. So what we are going to do is to jump to the RSK testnet faucet. I already sent the link in the chat. If you need it again, please tell me. So what you are going to do here is to get some funds to pay for the transactions. I'm going to copy my address, paste it over here, complete the CAPTCHA. I'm very bad with the CAPTCHAs. Oh, I'm horrible. I hope you can get your CAPTCHA. Yeah, I succeeded. So now it will confirm the transaction in the network. It will take 15 or 20 seconds. Great, excellent. Now that you have your RSK balance, you will find in your wallet that you have over here some RBTCs. So these RBTCs are the RBTCs you are going to use to pay for the transactions. So we are going to make our first transaction. And we are going to jump to the third step, that is the RIF tokens. So we are going to jump to the third web page, the faucet, the RIF faucet, and this button will make a transaction. When you click it, it will pop up some notification. In this notification, you will see that you're actually transferring 0 RBTC to a contract, to an address. What you're doing here is that you're executing a smart contract. This smart contract has a rule that allows you to get 100 RIF tokens per day. So that's the whole smart contract, and that's all the thing that a smart contract do. So now you're executing your first transaction in the network. And to see the amount of tokens it will send you, you can go over here in the tokens tab and click in add token. You have to copy this address over here. This is we are trying to improve all this and use a lot of domains in all the places everywhere. So this should be replaced by a domain as soon as possible. But now you have to copy the address, and in the wallet you can add a token. Oh, it gone mad. I should have only 100 RIF. That's okay. So I have 100 tokens. Sorry, I'm going to read the chat a little bit. Oh, I wrote it wrong. Sorry. It's faucet. Sorry for that. Okay, so now we have the tokens, and we are now able to pay for the domains. So we are going to jump to the next step. We are going to use the RNS manager. We have 2 versions of the RNS manager in the testnet. As we are quite few here, we can try both versions. We have you can use the whole service in the testnet for free. You can try anything you want to for free also. And all the features that we've enabled in the mainnet, we also enable them in the testnet. So we have this application that is the RNS manager. I will send the link again. They also shared over here the latest version. So all these things we do are open source. So you can access the latest version. And we also have a place where we save the latest version for anybody to access very, very fast. So this is like if you want to do real things and you want to use the manager with 100% of security that you are doing will not fail, just use this manager, and in the mainnet use the one that has no testnet in behind. You can access to it removing the testnet. I'm going to leave the link anyway. And we also have the latest version because we are building a brand new layout that is excellent. Jesse is over here in the talk. He's one of the great authors of this, and we are building this new version. So you can try it over here too. What I'm going to do right now is to register a domain. So first I browsed to this web page, then I will type my domain, type on register, Then I'm going to jump to little steps. You're going to see them in my screen, but just to give you a flash of what will happen, we will have 3 steps. So this will take like 3 or 4 minutes. Once this step finishes, you will be able to use the domain. I want to show also how do I use the domain too. So let's put webinar. Great, it is available, so I will register it. First, I'm going to do a request of the domain. First I'm going to do a request of the domain. So I'm going to send a transaction and wait until while I'll explain. Over here, you are able to choose the amount of years, and you will be shown the amount of RIF tokens you are going to pay. Then you will start doing a first transaction. There are 2 transactions in the process. The first one has to do with security things. As we are in a public network and anybody can see what others are doing, anybody could be able to steal your domain in some way during the registration by putting a transaction with a lot more of fees than yours. So he will win you in the network. But with this model that we created, the first transaction ensures that the second transaction will be submitted with no problems, and the second transaction will actually register the domain. So not what we are doing is something like reserving it. Okay, so now the transaction was confirmed. Now the process will wait for more or less 1 minute. So once a minute passes, we will be able to prompt the second transaction. I will check the chat. I hope everybody reached this step. But as I said before, if you have any problem with the step, we'll leave my email at the end of the talk, and also I will leave the public chat, so you can also go to the forum and ask whatever you want to. So any problems you have, they have solution for real. So we can try to solve them. I will now prompt the second transaction. So now the domain is reserved. I'm going to actually register it. This will take less than a minute. So once it finishes, it will prompt me to the administration of the domains. We are now working a lot in this interface. So also if you have some feedback or something you want, or you think it will look great in the application, please tell us in any of our chats, and we will be very happy to add the functionalities. It seems like it's a little bit slow today. Like the things are loading a little bit slow in the public network. So, well, in the first screen, oh, excellent. Thanks. Thanks. Maybe it's my internet, yeah. Maybe you see a lot of more things over here. I don't know why mine are not loading, but anyway, I will show you a little bit of what each screen is. First, you will have your domain info. Over here, you will be able to renew your domains. So you can pay for extra years whenever you need to. You can also over in the bottom, I think you are seeing it. I don't know why I'm not seeing them, but also in the bottom, you will find a place where you can transfer your domain to anybody. So this, as I said, this is permissionless. So whenever you want to transfer your domain, you will be able to do it. Yeah, it appeared. It was suspicious. Okay, so this is the thing. We have this site that is a little bit slower than the other one, but has the latest version. I love the latest version, so I want to show you the latest version. So, you will be able to transfer your domain over here if you need to. Then also you will have another screen that enables you to set your addresses. You will be able to set only the RSK address at the beginning. So over here in the top, you will find your RSK address and it will allow you to set it. Then if you want to add addresses of other cryptocurrencies, you can activate the service of the multi-chain addresses. And once you activate it, then you can set a lot of cryptocurrency addresses. We are trying to add a lot more new currencies in the near future too, so stay tuned. Then also I talked about the subdomains. In this screen over here, you will be able to create a subdomain. You'll just have to do a transaction. So for example, if I want to create the wallet.webinar.rsk, I will set myself as the owner. Then I will be able to create it. I hope so. Then just over here, if you switch to the advanced mode in the top right corner, you will also have some advanced things. We are building this web page right now, and we have also the reverse record setup. So over here, as I said, I can, for example, put my reverse as webinar.rsk, and anybody who finds my address will know that this is my domain, right? So well, I showed you a little bit of the whole functionality, everything that we have ready for you to try and for you to use. This is fully functional in the mainnet, so everything that we are doing here works like a charm and works really for every network. So I will be glad if you continue the steps in the mainnet and register your domain. I will check 1 second the chat. Then I'm going to jump to the presentation. Great, Alejandro. You're great. I love that everybody's enthusiastic with the project. So well, we passed all the registration, and just to finish, I know that this was like a fast overview of the service, fast overview of RSK, fast overview of everything. So I will leave you in the chat a lot of links. You can find a lot more of RNS in the documentation. There you will be able to find some processes, the operations you can do with the services, how you can integrate. You can read all the specifications. You will be able to run the RNS in your local computer for making testings for development. There is a lot of content there. We also have a public roadmap. You will be able to find it in this link. The application in the mainnet will be hosted over here. So if you want, I will also leave that link. Then if you have any kind of problem, any suggestion, anything you want to tell us, you can contact us.
Algo arriba, entonces.
Yeah, sorry? Hola, hola. Hi. Okay, so you can contact us in the Gitter. That's our public chat. And also all the things that I showed in this presentation are open source. All the code that was doing things in behind the things I showed is open source, so you will find everything in our GitHub. Then we'll more links, personal, my blog, my Twitter. If you want to send me an email, you can do it. So thanks everybody. Very glad you attended. I love to do this presentation. So I'll keep you posted. If you follow me on Twitter, I will send all the updates of the RIF name service as they arrive. So, well, cheers. Have a good time, and well, see you in the next meetings.
Thank you so much, Ilan. It was a wonderful webinar. Thank you so much, everyone. We are gonna have our next webinars in the next Wednesday in Portuguese and English about create your first smart contract with a front end, and also in Spanish next Thursday. Check our website, rsk@co-webinars and rifos.org, where you can get more information and get in contact with us. We are happy to talk with our friends and our users. Thank you so much again, and see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I will be answering some questions. I will stop presenting so that you can ask me questions in private chat also. So I will stay here like 5 more minutes, and if you have any question, just ask me. Thanks, Dulce. Yes. Let me find the link. Wait fast. I don't actually remember the name of the use case. Dulce, do you remember the name of the use case? One of the trucks that had all the supply chain in RSK?
Dexfreight.
Dexfreight, that's right.
Oh yeah, Dexfreight. It's a supply chain, and also they have a transportation business for one of the most important businessmen in transportation in America, leading by an Argentinian guy living in Miami. We can share the. We actually are going to have a talk in the future weeks with them, but I can, for the meantime, I can share only the web page if I can find it super quick for you. Good question. And Text frame. Here, this is the Twitter, and I'm gonna find the website.
I was thinking a use case, like I challenge the user performs a transaction. Yeah, so I was working a little bit in the weekends about something like challenges smart contract. So the idea is that you can claim your diploma to the this smart contract. So it's more like this contract will check that you actually registered a domain and give you a diploma. That's great for the challenges, like the game of the Ethernauts. Yeah, there are a lot of use cases. Like one of the most cool things of the blockchain is that you can access the API of any other application, so you can build your interoperable application without needing to ask permission to the other. Like a lot of decentralized finance applications, for example, they're running Ethereum. You can, for example, switch your Ethereums for dollars on chain. Then that dollars you can put them in a borrowing, or you can also borrow that dollars from other. They make the thing interoperable without even knowing each other, and it's great. Where are the registers? The table with the addresses. Yeah, so we have now that table, your addresses. That's actually where you see all your addresses records. Now we are building that page that is empty, that is called Resolver. So over there you will find all the standard records that will be updated. Like we are going to launch, I think in 2 or 3 weeks, we are going to launch that page, and then we are going to add something like 6 or 7 new resolutions, like in the 3rd or 4th week. So you will have a lot of news about that. You want sorry. Yeah, now I understand. So the thing is, like, the RSK network, you can get a node. Once you get a node, it starts downloading all the database of the RSK network. One of the things that is inside the database is the database of the RIF name service. So that ensures that the database is distributed everywhere. Also, that ensures that you can access the database as you want to. Like, you can sync your own node, get your own node, fully clone the public database of the RNS. Once you get that, you actually have them in your computer, so you can ensure the integrity of all the records. Did I answer?
Otra pregunta. Susana Olques
¿Qué dice?
está hablando.
Yeah, if there is not any more questions, we can wrap up and say thank you, Ilan.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let me answer over here. Who ensures? Well, that's another topic. It's a very big topic. Who ensures the security about the locked BTC? Well, I can send you a link about the federation. You can read a lot about that. So it's over. That has to do really with the architecture of the RSK. Maybe this link can help you. So the architecture is now it's centralized. It has like there's an entity that ensures the funds are saved and locked over there. And then you can always swap back to Bitcoin once you finish using RSK. So it's quite useful because you enable a lot of things in the Bitcoin network that were enabled. It has a lot of things that will be improved in the future. But everything about the architecture, you will find it over there in the developers documentation. I think it's well explained. So well, thank you everybody. I'm going to leave. Thanks for attending. Bye-bye.